Paul Sincock serves as city manager of Plymouth, Michigan, a position he has had since 2001. Previously, he served the city in roles such as assistant recreation director and all that kind of fun stuff. He likes doing fun stuff, but you'll see that in a minute. Paul is a member of the Plymouth Rotary Club since 1981, served as president 2001 and 2, district governor 2018-19, and he's currently Central States Youth Exchange county vice chairperson and a correspondent in several nations: in France, Italy, Belgium, where my daughter went on exchange, the Czech Republic, and the whole continent of Africa, apparently. So the Central States Rotary Exchange, Central State Youth Exchange, sorry, is a clearinghouse of high school. And I don't know what you mean by clearinghouse, but anyway, it has all high school students, exchange students going to host countries and coming into either United States or Canada. So Paul is very involved in that, obviously. And not only were both Paul's parents Rotarians, but he is a longtime husband of past District Governor Tracy Sincock, who followed you as a District Governor, I believe. And we heard from Tracy. She made a presentation just a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week? 2 weeks ago, yeah. So welcome, Paul. Everybody in Windsor St. Clair, let's welcome Paul. We all know Paul. Good to see you again. Good seeing you.
Yeah. If you want to minimize size, you can.
Yeah, that's fine. We're good. So I'm here to talk about membership. Carlos is right about my youth exchange. I'm really big in that. Tracy and I have hosted about 10 kids over the course of time. So basically we have a place to stay anywhere in the world and local interpreters. So that's a lot of fun, especially when we go to visit them. And we've had some kids come back and visit us again. And so it's been a lot of fun. And I never wanted to have a youth exchange student. That wasn't my idea. That was my wife's idea. When we moved into the house, she goes, "Yep, when we move into the house, I want a dog." I was like, okay, I couldn't handle the dog. It's got to be bigger than my foot so I don't trip over it. Wasn't expecting a 140-pound yellow lab, but you know, we had that. So, and then she said, "I want a youth exchange student." I was like, "Oh my gosh, a youth exchange! What do we know about high school students?" She goes, "Oh, we were high school students once." I go, "Well, that was a couple of years ago," and you know, and we had our first kid from Thiago. He's now a lawyer in Brazil, and we have a Brazilian grandchild with him and his wife Letitia, and we have a German grandchild over in Germany with Tim and Katya, and they were here this summer and with Eric, and we went down to Disney World and spent a few days down there. Anybody that knows me knows that we're big Disney fans as well. So, so enjoy youth exchange, and but today I'm here to talk about membership. It is one of the biggest topics in North America because membership, frankly, is going down in North America. You know, our district is fairly stable. We're actually up a few, I think, right now. Last I checked, so that's good. But overall, it's still down pretty significantly. Rotary clubs have to change and they have to be relevant. This is a good example of change. You know, you've got people on Zoom. You know, 20 years ago, that would have never even been a thought process. 10 years ago, it wouldn't have been a thought process. You know, we've seen a lot of change in Rotary over the course of time, and that's good. So we've been Rotary of 1905, and then of course Rotary today. Rotary has an action plan. We need to increase our impact. We need to expand our reach. We need to enhance participant engagement. So, you know, you guys are pretty active, it sounds like. You got flower planting, you got bingos going, and so, you know, there's a lot of things going on within your club. And so that's a good thing. We have to increase our ability to adapt. And again, the Zoom is a great example of adaptation. And those are really important kinds of things. Rotary in 1905 was, a few guys that rotated around and had coffee and solved the problems of the world, and it's grown into something that's pretty phenomenal now on a worldwide basis. Tracy and I were just in Scotland, and we went to the Rotary Club of Edinburgh when we were there. Had lunch with them, and it was just a wonderful experience. They gave us some great tips on where to go and things to see, and that was pretty awesome. And we were very much welcomed, and it was a very nice experience for us. So use your Rotary membership, especially when you travel. What members want? They want connection with local community. They want to make some connections. And they want to do local service, and you're doing some of that. And they want to connect with others, professional and leadership development. Those are all important things. You don't think about it, but that is one of the things as you get on the board of directors for the club, or you're president of the club, and those kinds of things. Those are great leadership experiences, and that's what members want. And we need to prioritize that membership experience. Members want to have a positive experience, and it's got to be fun when you come. I always tell people that Rotary's got to be fun, because if it's not fun, why am I doing it? You get to meet other people, and those are create that positive Rotary experience. Some of our best friends are in Rotary, and they're in Rotary on both sides of the border here, and so that's always good. And we've really enjoyed that. Enthusiasm is contagious. So if you're excited about Rotary, then others will be excited about Rotary as well. And when I came across the border this morning, I think the border guard was a little bored waiting for shift change. And despite me having Nexus, I had to have a conversation about Rotary. And she goes, "Oh, you're pretty excited about this." I go, "Well, yes, it is. It's a great organization, do a lot of great things." And so, and it was like, move along. So, well, come on, let's get our little clicker click in there. On average, your club has about 3 members that leave for various reasons. They work change, they have the ultimate exit strategy, those kinds of things, or they're just other things come up, life gets in the way. So that's something to keep in mind, that in order to keep your membership going, you've got to get at least 3 just to stay even. Now, if you want to have 5%, I remember years ago they were talking about, we got to double our membership. Well, okay, let's be realistic. Let's take it in little chunks. You can't eat the whole elephant all at once. Let's do it in little chunks. And so, let's talk about a 5% membership growth. So you need 3 to make up for the 3 that might leave, and then a couple of additional membership, and you get your 5%. So you need 5 folks to join you on an annual basis, and if only 2 leave, you're ahead of the game. So that's a good thing. Free resources, the Rotary Club health check, and that is something that I strongly recommend. That lets you, the members, tell your leadership, tell you about, okay, where are we at with our health check? And it's a survey that you can fill out in paper. If you Google it, Rotary Club health check, there's plenty of them online in a doodle poll and Survey Monkey and those kinds of things that you can use, and send it out to the membership, and just see how your club is doing. What's your club's perception? You meet too early, you're unapproachable, you're business people. How do you describe your club? How would somebody here describe your club? This is the interactive part. Fun.
Busy.
Busy. Okay. Those are a couple of great.
Me too early.
Me too early. The reality, you got great local service projects, friendship, fun. 2.5 million children immunized against polio. You got peace fellows around the world. 16 million volunteer hours annually. Those are some pretty impressive stats that makes Rotary what Rotary really is, and that's important. Business development, citizen of the world. I just talked about that a little bit. You can get around and join things around the world. A lot of reasons to join a Rotary Club. Everything from the opportunity to serve to friendship and fun. I think friendship and fun should be at the top of the scale, but it didn't work on the sliding thing that way. So, but I think that's an important piece of the membership pie, is that you have some fun and that's a reason for you to invite people. Bring them into your club. Bring them. Have them come and join you for stuff and join you for a morning and kind of see what it's all about. And hopefully you'll get some members about this. My mother would be amazed that I actually paid attention as a little kid, and because she used to tell me this: if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that's something that every Rotary Club needs to be aware of. You have to plan. Strategic planning is important, and I believe this club went through with Chris Poorman a year or two ago, I think. So that's an important piece. Where are you going to be, 3 years, 5 years out? And that's an important piece of that. I know my club went through the strategic planning. I will be the first to admit that we were not very good at wrapping it all up and putting a bow on it. But we have, one of the big things that came out of that was our club decided that they wanted to double our membership. I remember about double membership. I thought, wow, that's pretty ambitious. But we went from about 75 and we're about 110 right now. So we're pretty happy about that, and a lot of new people, lots of new people in our club, and and that really came out of that strategic planning. That we made an effort to go out into the community and ask people, hey, come on and join us for a little bit, and see what we do. And it's like this morning with the border guard. It was like wow, I didn't know you guys did all of those things. And so that was an important piece. So strategic planning is so critical to everything that you do. I don't like the word strategic planning because strategic planning sounds really not fun. So let's call it action planning, because now we've got a plan. We're moving with action, and Rotarians are people of action. So I think it's important that we have that action planning. Your leadership group, let's figure out what the leadership is going on, and diagnose it, plan it, and move to action. And this club has been great, and you've moved locations relatively recently, I guess, and so that was an action, and that's good. And this is a great location, and I think this worked out really well. 5 attributes of a successful club. It's 5 things that make your club successful, and it's goals and plans, it's service, it's engagement, it's public image behind the screens there. So how are you doing on public image? And then ultimately it's leadership. So the leadership has got to make sure that all of those, the 4 legs are working correctly and working along. It's so important to get your message out. I am amazed. My club, we Zoom our meetings, and we put them out on Facebook Live. Because of the size of our club, we literally have a production that that does our stuff. And I'm amazed at the amount of people that watch our meetings after the meetings. And I'm amazed that our little club, 110 people, it's relatively little, but 110 people, we have over 3,800 followers on our social media. So when it comes time to promote our projects, we're pumping it out. When it comes time to clean the chicken racks, we're talking about chicken racks and cleaning those. And this last weekend, we planted flowers in the downtown. We posted it not only on our club social media, but we posted it on the district social media. I think that's a resource that is just not being used. And so posting things on the district Facebook page, and I know kids don't use Facebook, but we do. Get it out there on the district page as well, and get your message out across the district. And there are other nearby districts that are following our district, and they'll get some ideas. You'll get some ideas from posts, and you might get some play from folks that, oh, I want to go do X, Y, or Z if you're having some kind of an activity or something. And so I think that's an important piece. That public image piece is important. So it's very important. In my area, we don't have news media. We're in the Detroit market, so we've got nothing. It's not in the Detroit News or the Free Press. It's not making it. We're going to see what happens here in the near future. Channel 4 in Detroit is going to be opening a local studio in our town. It's going to be very interesting. It's a local studio and coffee shop. That's part of their new format, because I think they've realized also that there is no news media, especially in the smaller communities, and that's why you see the Detroit media stations going out to the communities and doing a focus on a community for a day. So be aware, you have local media here, which is great. Use it, promote your stuff all the time. Public image is so critical, and so you don't get to the border and you go, what's Rotary? So you can do those kinds of things. And although I have to admit that I've had it both ways. The year that Jennifer was the president of Rotary International, going back into the United States, and explained us over for a Rotary talk, and so, oh, that's that organization. They got that lady who's the president or general or something, and I just happened to have the Rotary magazine with her picture on the front in the car. I go, yeah, it's Jennifer, and she's over in Windsor, and we're good friends. And goes, oh, that's great. Have a nice day. And so, be ready to promote Rotary at any given moment. Have those goals and plans. That's so important. How are you guys doing on your strategic plan?
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Okay, that's good. It's a lot of fun to implement, and we're going for it. Right. Okay, got it. Time to do it again. And and so it's. So I think that's important. If you have a plan, then you have a plan for success into the future. Those service projects, engagement of all of your members. Is everybody getting along per se most of the time? That's an important piece of this. Clear direction, buy-in from your club. That's why the strategic plan is important, so that you get the buy-in from the whole club. New approaches reinvigorates clubs. Don't be afraid to try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, okay, we'll try something else. I tell the folks that I work with all the time, I said, I don't know, we've never done it that way, but we'll give it a shot, and if it works, we'll make sure we do it that way for the future. And that's really important. Sometimes they win, sometimes they don't. But we want to make sure that both in Rotary and in the organization that I lead, is that we're okay to try. And let's, there's no bad things that are going to happen. The sun's still going to set in the west and rise in the east, despite what we may or may not do. So action plans, like you just indicated, they need to be reviewed routinely. And that's so, so important. You can't develop an action plan and put it on the shelf. It's got to be implemented. And that's really the important piece of this. And, and again, a big part of this is ask your friends, ask your neighbors, ask your coworkers. Hey, come join me for coffee in the morning here at Rotary and see what we do, and be a part of it. And so that's the important piece. When you make the pitch, we have a project for you. What is your passion? Find out what their passion is, and I'm sure Rotary has a project for them. And we can implement that and use those Rotary resources, use those district grants. Those are important. Get involved in a big project and use the Rotary International money. Those are important pieces that are underutilized, especially in our district. We contribute a lot to Rotary International, but I don't think we're getting enough back out of all that we contribute. And, that goes back to the clubs, and use those grants and district grants. District grants are really easy, but they provide a little money, a little match, and that's really a good thing. Again, get your message out. How are you getting your message out? Tell people that you're here. Tell people that where things are happening. It's important that you get the message out. You're connected with a church. How can you connect closer here with the congregation of this group and be a part of that? And even if it take a little ad out in their bulletin. That the Rotary Club of Windsor St. Clair meets here. Get the message out. This photo was taken in Hamburg, Germany, on one of their tourist areas. It was when the International Convention was there, so there were a lot of banners all around town. But that's an important thing. In my community, we have veterans banners. We have Memorial Day coming up, and so there are veterans in our community who now have their picture on a banner on the light poles in our downtown, and it says, John Smith, United States Navy, Korean War, whatever, and it's put on by the Rotary Club of Plymouth AM, and so people buy the banners, and it's a great message for Rotary, and it's a great message to support our veterans. Please, no photos of checks, passing checks. Get people doing. Rotarians are people of action, so you need to have action in the photos. And sorry about that, but we've got Rotarians there in blue vests. This is a Rotary Event Ambassador on them. Our club bought a whole bunch of those, and so we do those at some other events where we might not necessarily be recognized as Rotarians. So it's important that you always have that message out. Try to get the Rotary logo in photos and those kinds of things that you're putting out there. Sign in to myrotary.org. How many have been on the rotary.org, My Rotary website recently? Quite a few of you. That's great. The brand center is there. They've got all kinds of materials that you can customize to take their photo out, put your photos in, rewrite it a little bit. And the Learning Center has literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of training that's available to you at no cost. So that training is everything from how to run a board meeting, how to be a club president, how to be a better leader, how to lead a committee, all of those kinds of things, which can relate not only to your Rotary life, but also to your regular life as well. So those are important things. And it's a great way to introduce new members to Rotary, get them some of that stuff as well. The secret sauce to make your club successful. This is the secret. I guess it's not much of a secret if I'm going to tell you. But this is how you make your club secret. You include community members in your projects. This last weekend we planted flowers. A week ahead of time, we put little signs on the Main Street Island where we plant the flowers. It says Rotary Club of Plymouth will be planting flowers here on Saturday. If you'd like to join us and help beautify downtown Plymouth, please join us. We had several people that did. So that's really important. So if you invite community members to projects and fundraisers, and that's the secret sauce. Get more people involved with what you do. They don't necessarily have to make the inroads into being a full-fledged member right off the get-go. And I like to tell the story of past District Governor Russ Jones. When Russ he became governor a couple of years ago. And so the interesting part of that is that Russ used to come with his sons when they were in high school to our chicken barbecue, because we need a lot of people to make the chicken barbecue thing work. So we have about 600 volunteers that come. So when Russ came with his kids, and every year the swim team did this or the soccer team did whatever, and Russ always participated. Well, after his kids went to university, Russ kept coming to the chicken barbecue. And finally, one day at the barbecue, one of the members goes, "Well, Russ, you come every year. Your kids aren't here anymore. Well, why do you do it?" He goes, "Well, this is fun. I'm having a good time, and it's a way to give back to the community." And the next question was, "Well, why aren't you a member?" "Well, nobody's asked me." Ask, 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 ask. And that's really the key to doing that. And because together we see a whole world where people unite, they take action to create a lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. And that is so important. Ask people to join us, to be a part of it, and have some fun, and ask your neighbors, and be a part of what we do. And I think that that's a good way to grow your membership. It's not forcing it on them. It's ease them into it. Have them at a few service projects, and find out what they're passionate about. Find out what's important to them, and then you have a project for them, and they can lead it. So that's the important piece. And that's my talk. Happy to answer any questions about all things Rotary. And I've got a couple of packets here that I'll leave that's got some of the information that I talked about. Sure. Oh, I can click to exit. There we go. There we go. Yes.
Rotary is, obviously trying to hold its own as far as membership, but I think all service organizations across the world are facing the same problem, and particularly in North America. Is it a societal issue that people are not interested, or is there no time?
I think it is a change in societal issues. I think there's a change there. Rotary, when I was a kid, my dad was in Rotary. It was, all the community folks, they had their suits, their ties. They went to Rotary Friday at noon, every Friday, unless the earth ended. I was remembering a story of a vet in our club, and he's dealing with the dogs and the cats all day, and he's at his office, but every Friday he would change out of his his veterinarian scrubs, and hop into a suit and come to Rotary. That was just the way it was, and I think it's changed a lot. I think we still have a reputation. A lot of these service clubs still have a reputation of being kind of stuffy and not pretty rigid. And so I think it is part societal. People are busy. And I had this conversation with some folks in my office just yesterday that, when I grew up as a kid, the neighborhood kids would get together and, we'd go across the street to Archie's Field and play ball. And then we would be able to, depending on how many kids came that day, we would have to figure out, we're going to have to change some rules here. We don't have enough people to have a right fielder. So if you hit the ball to right field, you're out. Those kinds of things. So, there's a lot of decision making that was learned early on. And I think that that's part of it. Everything is pretty darn structured now. I mean, there's travel baseball, travel hockey, travel, everything, travel lacrosse, everything. And those schedules are tight. And so it does make it tougher to do those kinds of things. But, you talk about community and you think about, somebody should do something about that. Somebody should do something about the rink that needs a XYZ thing. Somebody should do something about the flower beds in town. Somebody should do, well, then finally you realize that somebody is you. And you need to be a part of that somebody. And we can do a lot more with more people. And that's the important part. But I think society is extremely busy. COVID was certainly no friend to service clubs. COVID was no friend to a lot of industries. So I think that's important. I think also that it is important to realize that Rotary is growing in Asia and Pacific Islands, and so there is the possibility for growth here. I just think we have to be a little more aggressive on our public image and what we do and getting the message out. I don't know if that answers the question directly, but sure, or I'll repeat it or whatever. Okay, yes.
Maybe you could repeat this all. My question is, you had a slide regarding the secret sauce. And so I'm a new member, and why am I here? I've had an immense amount of fun and almost I've been here. So, but my question is, does the website, the Rotary.org website, does it offer success stories of Rotary clubs that say, we've had tremendous success doing this, to share that with other Rotary clubs? So forgive me if it's there, but thoughts are the shared stories as to
Right.
how clubs can be, how they found success. And it may not work, you may not be able to reproduce it in your club because
Right.
you're a small town of 6,000 people. But I just wondered because the secret sauce.
Sure. The question is for the secret sauce is there a listing on the Rotary website basically of success stories? Yes, there is. You have to dig. I'm not a big fan of the Rotary website. If you're looking for something specific, Dr. Google seems to be a lot more efficient. But there is a place there where there is success stories of projects. And you're encouraged to put your success stories in there as well, because obviously the more people that put stories in and successes in, the better. And off the top of my head, I don't remember the linking process to how to get there. But
my thoughts are, you spoke of membership a lot this morning. So clubs put things out there, not just based on, we helped this community do this, and we raised this much money, or we did planted this many flowers, but we were struggling with our membership. This was our strategic plan, and it worked, and we'd like to share it with everyone.
Correct. So, are there membership tips on there as well? Yes, there are, and there's a lot of resources that, as Rotary, the work gets done at the club level, then it goes to the district, and then it goes to the zone, then it finally makes it to Rotary International. There's a lot of resources at the district level. What works in one club may work in another, or at least some version of it may work in another. So that's important. And I think, certainly the attending like district conferences, because there's a lot of success stories there, is important. This year, the international conference in Calgary there's phenomenal success stories there. Is another great resource. And so those are all important places for potential projects and membership tips. There's a whole zone membership group that has a lot of these success stories, and it'd love to share with you on some of those.
So I guess, Paul, since I'm the membership chair, thank you for presenting.
Yep,
way
no
better
problem.
than I could ever think of saying anything. So you have resources for,
Yes.
at least I'll take one.
Okay, there you go.
And so is this the same as the thing you've done? No, this is more in depth, way
Yeah.
more in depth. Okay, thank you for coming and sharing your wealth of information. Yeah, I know it's down here somewhere. I'm trying to find it. Aha! Guess what you get?
Oh boy!
You get to sweeten up.
All right. Well, golly, they'll appreciate that at work.
We should give them one for Tracy because we didn't give it to her yet.
Phyllis had.
You're gonna bring it to district?
I think so.
All right.